The chlorine-scented air carried laughter and clinking glasses. Alena's fingers trembled around her paperback as Derek's voice sliced through her fragile peace. "Alena? Is that really you?" She looked up. 2 years had sharpened Derek Chen into something glossier, more polished. His linen suit screamed money. The blonde woman clinging to his arm screamed possession. "Derek." Her throat constricted. "What are you doing here?" "Corporate retreat." His eyes traveled over her discount cover-up with practiced cruelty. "This place is pretty upscale for someone working as a waitress." The words hit like they always had. Precision strikes designed to shrink her. "My sister surprised me. Birthday gift. How charitable of them." Derek's smile sharpened. "Vanessa, this is Alena. An old friend." Friend. 2 years reduced to nothing. Vanessa's white bikini and perfect curves made Alena feel invisible. The diamond on her finger caught the sunlight like a weapon. "We're celebrating our engagement," Vanessa purred. "Derek proposed in Paris last month." The ground tilted. Engaged. The man who told her he wasn't ready for commitment, who said she was too simple for his ambitions, had found someone worthy in months. "I'm here with my fiancé too," Alena heard herself say. Derek's eyebrows lifted. "Your fiancé? That's quite the coincidence. Where is he?" Vanessa's skepticism dripped like poison. Panic clawed at Alena's chest. Her gaze swept the pool deck desperately and landed on him. Dark hair, sharp jawline, fingers flying across a laptop. He looked expensive. Untouchable. Perfect. "There." She pointed. "That's my fiancé." The stranger looked up. Gray eyes found hers across the crowded space. Confusion flickered across his face. "Excuse me." Alena was already moving, legs shaking, mind screaming. "I should go say hello." She reached his table on pure adrenaline. Leaned down. Whispered fast. "I know this is insane, but I just told my ex you're my fiancé. He's watching. Please just play along for 2 minutes. I'll explain everything. I'll owe you forever. Please." The stranger blinked. Then impossibly, he smiled. Julian Cross. He stood, towering over her. "Apparently, I'm your fiancé." He pulled her close, arm around her waist. His cologne was cedar and danger. His warmth seeped through her cover-up. Derek still watching, she whispered through her smile. "Beige suit. Blonde barnacle." Julian's lips twitched. "Should I kiss you to sell this? Just hold my hand." He threaded their fingers together like they'd done it 1,000 times. His palm was warm, calloused in unexpected places. They sat. Julian shifted closer, creating intimacy that looked effortless. "So," he said, thumb tracing circles on her hand that felt far too real, "there's a story behind this particular brand of chaos." "I'm so sorry." "Don't apologize yet. I was drowning in quarterly reports. You've provided excellent entertainment." Derek's voice cut through. "Alena, you didn't introduce us to your fiancé." Her stomach dropped. Julian squeezed her hand. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. "How long have you two been together?" Alena opened her mouth. No sound came. Julian's voice was smooth as smoke. 6 months. We met at a charity gala in Manhattan. The moment I saw her, I knew. A charity gala? Derek's skepticism was sharp. Alena doesn't exactly move in those circles. She does now. Julian's smile didn't reach his eyes. Something dangerous flickered there. I made sure of it. And what do you do, Mr. Cross? Vanessa's tone was surgical. Julian leaned back, still holding Alena's hand. I acquire things. Companies mostly. Whatever catches my interest. The air shifted. Derek's face went pale. Julian Cross, Derek breathed. The Julian Cross? Cross Capital Management? Julian's silence was confirmation enough. Vanessa's diamonds suddenly looked smaller. Derek's confidence crumbled like sand. Well. Derek recovered badly. We should let you two enjoy your vacation. Congratulations on the engagement. They retreated. Alena exhaled for what felt like the first time in minutes. Thank you, she whispered. I don't know why you did that, but thank you. Julian studied her with those gray eyes that saw too much. You're shaking. I lied to a stranger and dragged him into my mess. I'm allowed to shake. Who was he really? The ex in the expensive suit? Someone who spent 2 years making me feel worthless. Someone I thought I'd never see again. Julian was quiet for a long moment. I have a proposition, he finally said. This resort is hosting my company's annual retreat. 300 employees, most of whom think I'm a workaholic robot. Your ex clearly believes we're engaged now. What are you suggesting? Keep pretending. For the week. It solves both our problems. You avoid your ex. I avoid awkward questions about why I'm still single at 34. That's insane. You started this insanity. I'm just offering to see it through. Alena's heart hammered. Why would you help me? Julian's smile was sharp and sad. Because 2 years ago, I had an ex too. And I would have given anything for someone to help me feel less destroyed by it. His phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and his expression hardened into something cold. I have a meeting. Dinner tonight? We should establish our story if we're doing this. Julian, wait. I don't even know you. 8 p.m. The Sapphire Restaurant. Wear something that makes you feel powerful. He gathered his laptop and walked away, leaving Alena sitting alone with the weight of what she'd started. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. By the way, fiancé. Don't research me. You won't like what you find. J. Alena's hands trembled as she typed his name into the search bar. The first headline made her blood run cold. Billionaire CEO Julian Cross accused of destroying rival company, he takes what he wants and burns the rest. Alena stood outside the Sapphire Restaurant at 7:58 p.m. in the only dress that didn't scream clearance rack. Black, simple, cheap. The articles about Julian burned in her mind. Ruthless. Calculated. Destroys competition without mercy. She should run. Should text him some excuse and hide in her room. You came. Julian appeared beside her, materializing from the shadows. He wore all black, fitted perfectly, looking like Sin dressed for dinner. His eyes traveled over her dress. You look terrified. I Googled you. I told you not to. No apology in his voice. You destroy companies. People lose everything because of you. Julian's jaw tightened. People build companies on lies and corruption. I expose the truth. If they crumble, they deserve to. That's cold. That's business. He offered his arm. Shall we? Or are you having second thoughts about our arrangement? Alena hesitated. Then thought of Derek's smug face, Vanessa's pitying smile. She took Julian's arm. The restaurant was intimate. Candlelight and soft jazz. Other guests watched them enter. Julian's hand settled on her lower back, possessive and warm. They're all staring, Alena whispered. Let them. We're the most interesting couple here. The maitre d' led them to a private corner table. Julian pulled out her chair with practiced elegance. When he sat across from her, the candlelight carved shadows across his face. "So," Julian said, pouring wine without asking, "tell me about Derek." "Why? If I'm playing your fiancé convincingly, I need to know what I'm protecting you from." Alena took a long sip of wine. It was better than anything she'd ever tasted. "We dated for 2 years. He was charming at first. Ambitious. Then the criticisms started. Small things. My clothes weren't right. My job was embarrassing. My dreams were too small. By the end, I believed him." Julian's fingers tightened around his glass. "He broke you." "He tried. My sisters put me back together. This trip was their gift. Proof I survived him. And then he appeared with his perfect fiancée. Making me feel worthless all over again." Alena laughed bitterly. "So I panicked and dragged you into my mess. I'm sorry." "Stop apologizing." Julian leaned forward. "You're not worthless, Alena. You're terrified and brave enough to fake an engagement with a stranger. That takes courage most people don't have." His words wrapped around something fragile inside her. "Tell me about your ex," she said. "You mentioned her earlier." Julian's expression shuddered. "Her name was Christine. We were engaged. She worked at my company. I trusted her. What happened? She was selling my business secrets to competitors. For a year. By the time I discovered it, I'd lost 3 major deals." His voice was ice. "She said she loved me while destroying everything I built." Alena's chest tightened. "That's why you don't trust anyone. Trust is a luxury I can't afford." Julian refilled her glass. "But I understand needing to prove you survived someone's cruelty. So this week, we're engaged. Madly in love. Inseparable. What are the rules? Public displays of affection when necessary. Consistent story about how we met. You stay in character, I stay in character. No real feelings." The last rule landed like a stone. "No real feelings," Alena repeated. "This is business, Alena. Mutually beneficial. Nothing more." Their food arrived. Alena barely tasted it. Julian watched her with unreadable eyes. "You're thinking too hard," he observed. "I'm wondering why someone like you needs a fake fiancé. You could have anyone." Julian's smile was sharp. "My board wants me settled. Stable. They think I'm too reckless without a personal life. This arrangement satisfies them and protects my company from distractions. So I'm a business solution. You're a convenient solution to both our problems." He reached across the table and took her hand. His thumb brushed her pulse point. "But we need to make this convincing. That means selling the chemistry." "Chemistry? Watch." He stood, pulled her to her feet, and kissed her. Not a gentle kiss. Not tentative. His mouth claimed hers with the confidence of someone who knew exactly what he wanted. His hand curved around her neck, tilting her head to deepen the kiss. Heat exploded through her body. When he pulled back, Alena's knees were weak. "That's chemistry," Julian murmured against her lips. "And half the restaurant just watched us. By morning, everyone will know we're real." Alena's heart hammered. "You can't just kiss me without warning." "I can if we're engaged." His eyes glittered. "Better get used to it." They sat. Alena's hands trembled. Julian looked entirely unaffected. "There's a company event tomorrow night," he said casually. "Beach reception. You'll attend as my fiancé. Dress is formal." "I don't have anything formal." "I'll have something sent to your room." He pulled out a black credit card. "Get whatever else you need. Shoes, jewelry, whatever makes you feel like you belong." I can't accept that. It's part of the arrangement. You play the role, I provide the costume. The waiter brought dessert. Alena pushed chocolate mousse around her plate. What if I mess this up? She asked quietly. What if I say the wrong thing or don't fit in with your world? Julian's expression softened for just a moment. You already fit better than you know. Just be yourself. That's all I need. They finished dinner in comfortable silence. Julian insisted on walking her back to her suite. The resort was stunning at night, lit by torches and moonlight. Thank you, Alena said at her door. For tonight. For helping me. It's just business. But his voice was gentler than his words. He leaned down and kissed her forehead. Brief, unexpected, devastating. Sleep well, fiancé. He walked away. Alena entered her suite, closed the door, and leaned against it. Her lips still tingled from that restaurant kiss. Her heart still raced. This was just pretend. Just business. So why did it feel dangerously real? Her phone buzzed. Alena, we need to talk. Meet me at the beach bar in 10 minutes. It's important. Derek. Her blood ran cold. What could Derek possibly want? Against every instinct, she grabbed her key and headed for the beach. The bar was empty except for one figure in the shadows. But it wasn't Derek waiting for her. It was Vanessa. And the smile on her face was pure poison. So glad you came, Vanessa said sweetly. We need to discuss your little arrangement with Julian Cross. You see, I know the truth about your fake engagement. And by tomorrow, everyone else will too. The ocean crashed against the shore. Vanessa's smile gleamed in the torchlight like a blade. What are you talking about? Alena's voice was steadier than her heartbeat. Please. Vanessa circled her slowly. I'm a corporate lawyer. I investigate people for a living. You think I wouldn't notice the tells? The way you two barely know each other's habits? The fact that there's no engagement announcement anywhere? Alena's stomach dropped. Derek sent you. Derek doesn't know I'm here. He's too busy drowning his insecurity at the bar. Vanessa's eyes glittered. But I know desperation when I see it. You pointed at a random stranger and claimed him as yours. Lucky for you, that stranger happened to be Julian Cross. What do you want? Information. Vanessa leaned against the bar. Julian destroyed my father's company 3 years ago. Bought it, gutted it, sold the pieces. My father had a heart attack 6 months later. So you'll understand why I'm very interested in Julian Cross's vulnerabilities. Cold realization flooded Alena's veins. You targeted Derek. You're using him to get close to Julian. Derek works for Meridian Automotive. They're Julian's next acquisition target. Vanessa's smile was vicious. I've been feeding Derek information, positioning him to negotiate the deal. Once I'm inside Julian's circle, I'll take everything from him like he took everything from my family. You're insane. I'm patient. Vanessa pulled out her phone. Now, you're going to help me. Or I'll expose your fake engagement to everyone here, including Julian's board members. They're staying at this resort too. Imagine their reaction when they learn their CEO is lying about his personal life. Why would I help you hurt Julian? Because you barely know him. Because he's using you just like you're using him. Because when this week ends, you'll go back to your 3 jobs and he'll forget you existed. Vanessa stepped closer. I'm offering you a way out. Help me gather information on Julian's business practices, and I'll keep your secret. Refuse, and I'll destroy both of you by breakfast. Alena's hands clenched into fists. I won't betray him. Then you're more naive than I thought. Vanessa's expression hardened. You have until tomorrow night's reception to decide. Either you're with me, or you're collateral damage. She walked away, heels clicking on the wooden deck. Alena stood frozen, mind racing. She should tell Julian. Should warn him. But would he believe her? Or would he think she was the one trying to manipulate him? Her phone buzzed. Julian. Everything okay? Saw you leave your suite. Alena's fingers hovered over the keyboard. She typed 3 different messages and deleted them all. Finally, just getting some air. See you tomorrow. She couldn't sleep. Couldn't think. At 3 a.m., she found herself walking the empty beach, waves soaking her feet. Insomnia or guilt? She spun. Julian stood 10 feet away, barefoot, wearing dark jeans and a white shirt open at the collar. He looked different. Younger. Human. What are you doing here? She asked. Same as you. Couldn't sleep. He walked closer. Want to tell me what's really wrong? It's nothing. You're a terrible liar, Alena. You barely know me. How would you know? Your left eye twitches when you lie. You do it when you're nervous too. And right now, you're both. He stopped directly in front of her. What happened after I left you tonight? The concern in his voice nearly broke her. Someone knows, she whispered. About us. About the fake engagement. Julian's entire body went rigid. Who? Vanessa. Derek's fiancé. She figured it out. And Julian, she's not who she claims to be. Alena told him everything. About Vanessa's father, the revenge plan, the ultimatum. Julian listened in complete silence, his expression growing darker with each word. When she finished, he turned away. Stared at the ocean. She's right, he said finally. About me destroying her father's company. I did it. Efficiently. Thoroughly. I don't remember his name. Julian. I've destroyed hundreds of companies, Alena. Thousands of lives impacted. I tell myself it's business. That it's necessary. That weak companies deserve to fail. He laughed bitterly. But I never think about the daughters watching their fathers die from the stress. It's not the same. It's exactly the same. He turned back to her. And now she's targeting me through you. Through Derek. Through my own acquisition. I won't help her, Alena said fiercely. I don't care what she threatens. I won't betray you. Something shifted in Julian's eyes. Something raw and unexpected. Why? You don't owe me anything. This arrangement benefits you too. Because you helped me when you didn't have to. Because underneath the ruthless billionaire act, you're just someone who got hurt and built walls. She stepped closer. Because I see you, Julian. And you're not the monster you pretend to be. The space between them crackled with tension. Julian reached up, brushed a strand of hair from her face. His touch was gentle, devastating. You're wrong about me, he murmured. I am exactly the monster I pretend to be. Then why are your hands shaking? Julian pulled back like she'd burned him. His hands were shaking. This is getting complicated, he said roughly. We should end this. Tell everyone the engagement is off. You go back to avoiding Derek, I handle Vanessa. No. Alena. No. She grabbed his arm. Running doesn't solve anything. We're in this now. Together. So we figure it out together. Julian stared at her for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, he smiled. A real smile, not the sharp corporate weapon. You're stubborn. You're difficult. This was supposed to be simple. Nothing about this is simple. Julian pulled her into his arms. Not for show. Not for the cameras. just holding her in the moonlight while waves crashed around their feet. "I have a plan," he said against her hair. "But you're not going to like it." "Tell me." "We give Vanessa what she wants. Feed her information. Let her think she's winning." Alena pulled back to look at him. "You want to use me as bait?" "I want to use us as bait. We feed her controlled information, trace who she's working with, and dismantle her entire operation." His eyes were hard again. "But it's dangerous. If she suspects we're onto her, she could escalate." "I can handle dangerous." "Can you handle lying to her face? Pretending to betray me while actually feeding her false intel?" Alena thought of Derek's cruelty. Vanessa's threats. Julian's shaking hands. "Yes," she said. "I can handle it. Then tomorrow night at the reception, you'll approach Vanessa. Tell her you'll help. And then we'll destroy her before she destroys us." They stood in the surf, the ocean pulling at their feet. Alena's heart hammered against her ribs. "Julian? What if this goes wrong? Then we go down fighting." He kissed her forehead again. That same gentle gesture that felt like a promise. "But I won't let her hurt you. Whatever happens, I protect what's mine. I'm not actually yours. For this week, you are. That's the arrangement." But the way he looked at her said something different. Something neither of them was ready to acknowledge. They walked back to the resort in silence. At the fork in the path, Julian stopped. "Get some sleep. Tomorrow we go to war." He walked toward his villa. Alena watched him disappear into the darkness. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. A photo. Julian and a woman, laughing intimately. The woman was stunning. Sophisticated. Everything Alena wasn't. The message below was simple: ask your fiancé about Christine. Ask him what he really did to her. Alena's hands went numb. She looked up at where Julian had vanished. Who had she really agreed to trust? And what secrets was he still hiding? The dress Julian sent was midnight blue silk, expensive enough to make Alena's hands shake. She stared at her reflection. She looked like someone who belonged in his world. But Vanessa's message burned in her mind. The photo. Christine's laugh. Julian's secrets. A knock on her door. Julian stood there in a black tuxedo, looking like every dangerous fantasy she'd ever had. His eyes traveled over her dress. "Perfect," he said. Then, quieter, "Are you ready? I need to ask you something first." His expression shuddered. "What?" "Tell me about Christine. The truth this time." Julian's jaw tightened. He stepped inside, closed the door. The air between them went electric. "Where is this coming from?" "Vanessa sent me a photo. You and Christine. You looked happy. Really happy. That photo is 3 years old. What did you do to her, Julian? After you found out she betrayed you?" The silence stretched like razor wire. "I destroyed her," Julian said finally. "Systematically. Completely. She had her lawyer license revoked. Her reputation obliterated. She can't work in corporate law anywhere in the country." Alena's stomach turned. "You ruined her entire life." "She ruined mine first." His voice was ice. "She stole from me. Lied to me. Used my love as a weapon. So yes, I made sure she paid for every second of it. That's not justice. That's revenge. Call it what you want. I sleep fine at night." He stepped closer. "Is this going to be a problem? Because we have a reception to attend and a trap to set." Alena met his cold gaze. Saw the ruthless billionaire who destroyed lives without hesitation. But underneath, she still saw the broken man on the beach with shaking hands. "I don't agree with what you did," she said slowly. "But I understand why you did it. And I'm still with you tonight." Something flickered in Julian's eyes. Surprise. Relief. Vulnerability quickly masked. "Good. Because we need to be perfect tonight. Vanessa will be watching." The beach reception was stunning. White tents, string lights, champagne towers. Julian's employees mingled in formal wear, the ocean providing a dramatic backdrop. Julian's hand never left Alena's waist. "There she is," he murmured. "Near the bar. Derek's with her." Vanessa wore red. Predatory. Confident. Derek looked uncomfortable in his rented tux. "Remember the plan," Julian said. "You approach her alone. Tell her you'll help. Get her to reveal her full strategy. What if she doesn't believe me? She will. Because I'm going to give you something real to trade." He pulled a flash drive from his pocket. "This contains preliminary financials on the Meridian acquisition. Sensitive information. Give it to her." "Julian, that's actually valuable." "It's bait. The numbers are real but incomplete. She'll think she's winning." His eyes met hers. "But you need to sell it. Make her believe you're betraying me." Alena took the drive with trembling fingers. "And if she wants more? Give her whatever she asks. I'll feed you information." He lifted her hand, kissed her knuckles. "But Alena? If at any point this feels wrong, if you're in danger, you walk away. Understood? I can do this. I know you can. But I need you safe more than I need revenge." The words landed between them, heavy with meaning neither would acknowledge. Julian kissed her. Deep, possessive, selling the illusion to everyone watching. When he pulled back, Alena's head spun. "Go," he whispered. "I'll be watching." Alena crossed the sand toward the bar. Toward Vanessa's knowing smile. "Well," Vanessa said as Alena approached. "Made a decision?" "I'll help you." Alena kept her voice low. "But I need guarantees. My secret stays secret. You leave Derek out of whatever happens. And when this is over, you disappear." Vanessa's smile widened. "You're smarter than you look. What changed your mind?" "I saw who Julian really is. What he's capable of. He's using me just like he uses everyone. And I'm done being used. How do I know you're not playing me?" Alena handed her the flash drive. Meridian acquisition financials. Preliminary assessment. Julian keeps it locked in his laptop. Vanessa's eyes gleamed as she pocketed the drive. "How did you get this?" "He trusts me. Or thinks he does." Alena let bitterness color her voice. "It wasn't hard. What do you need me to do?" "Keep feeding me information. Financial projections, acquisition strategies, board vulnerabilities. And find out where he keeps his primary servers. I need access to everything. That's going to take time. You have until the end of the week. After that, you're no longer useful." Vanessa leaned closer. "And Alena? Don't think about warning him. I have insurance. Documents that will expose not just your fake engagement, but some interesting details about your sister's financial situation. Fraud charges could be very messy." Ice flooded Alena's veins. "You researched my sisters?" "I research everything. So we're clear. You cooperate, they stay safe. You betray me, I destroy everyone you love." Alena forced herself to nod. To smile. To play the role. She returned to Julian's side. He pulled her close, his breath warm against her ear. "How did it go?" "She took the bait. Wants more information." Server locations. Board vulnerabilities. Alena's voice shook. Julian, she threatened my sisters. She has evidence of some kind of fraud. There's no fraud. She's bluffing. How do you know? Because I had your sisters investigated the first night. Standard background check. They're clean. Vanessa's just trying to control you. Alena pulled back to stare at him. You investigated my family? It's what I do. No apology in his voice. I needed to know who I was dealing with. So you don't trust me either? I don't trust anyone. Julian's expression was hard. But I'm starting to wish I could. The moment stretched between them, raw and complicated. A commotion near the entrance. A man in a dark suit pushing through the crowd. Heading straight for Julian. Mr. Cross, the man said urgently. We need to talk. Privately. It's about the security breach. Julian's entire body tensed. What breach? Someone accessed your private server 2 hours ago. Copied financial records for 6 active acquisitions. Alena's blood turned to ice. 2 hours ago. While she was getting ready. Julian turned to her slowly. His eyes were cold, empty, devastating. When did you give Vanessa access to my room? His voice was soft. Lethal. I didn't. My security logs don't lie. Someone with your keycard accessed my villa. Downloaded files from my laptop. He stepped back from her. Tell me you didn't do this. Julian, I swear. Tell me you didn't betray me. Alena's world tilted. The flash drive. It must have had spyware. Or Vanessa had someone follow her, steal her keycard, plant something. I was set up, she said desperately. Vanessa must have. Convenient excuse. You know me. You know I wouldn't. I don't know you at all. Julian's voice was ice. That's the problem. I trusted you with information, access, my goddamn heart, and you were working with her the entire time. No. Julian, please. Security will escort you off the property in the morning. This arrangement is over. Stay away from me. Stay away from my company. He turned to his security chief. Make sure she doesn't access any resort facilities tonight. Julian. But he was already walking away. His shoulders rigid. His hands clenched into fists. Alena stood frozen as guests whispered and stared. Derek appeared beside her, his expression ugly with satisfaction. Guess the fairy tale's over, he said. Nice try, Alena. But you never belonged in his world anyway. She barely heard him. Her eyes were locked on Julian's retreating figure. On the man who had just destroyed her with the same ruthless efficiency he destroyed everyone who crossed him. Vanessa materialized from the shadows, her smile triumphant. I warned you about Julian Cross, she purred. He takes what he wants and burns the rest. You're just the latest casualty. Alena's hands shook. Her vision blurred. She ran from the reception, from the stairs, from the ruins of everything. In her room, she collapsed on the bed. Grabbed her phone with shaking hands. She had to fix this. Had to prove she didn't betray him. But first, she needed the truth. She started digging into Julian's past. Into Christine's story. Into Vanessa's father's company collapse. What she found made her blood run cold. Christine hadn't betrayed Julian. Someone else had set her up. And that someone was still close to Julian, still in his inner circle, about to destroy him completely. Alena looked at the clock. 2 a.m. She had 6 hours before security removed her from the property. 6 hours to save a man who hated her. 6 hours to prove what real sacrifice looked like. She grabbed her laptop and started typing. By dawn, she would either save Julian's company or lose everything trying. Because somehow, in the chaos and lies and fake engagement, she'd done the one thing Julian warned her not to do. She'd fallen in love with him. Dawn painted the sky in shades of blood and gold. Alena's eyes burned from hours staring at her laptop screen. But she had it. The evidence that would either save Julian or destroy them both. Christine hadn't sold Julian's secrets. His head of security had. Marcus Webb. The man who'd accused Alena last night. He'd been feeding information to competitors for years, using Christine as the scapegoat. And now he was working with Vanessa to finish what they'd started. Alena's hands shook as she printed the documents. Bank transfers. Encrypted emails. Security footage timestamps that proved Christine was innocent. A knock on her door. Security, probably. Coming to remove her. But when she opened it, Julian stood there. He looked wrecked. Tuxedo jacket gone, shirt untucked, eyes red and hollow. He stared at her like she was a ghost. "I need to tell you something," they said simultaneously. Silence. Heavy. Desperate. "You first," Julian said. Alena handed him the folder. "Christine didn't betray you. Marcus Webb did. He's been selling your secrets for years. He framed Christine, destroyed her life, and now he's working with Vanessa to take down your entire company. It's all in there. Bank records, emails, everything." Julian opened the folder with trembling hands. Flipped through pages. His face went white. "How did you find this?" "I stayed up all night digging. Called in favors from people I barely know. Hacked into places I shouldn't have access to." She laughed bitterly. "Turns out desperation makes you resourceful." "Alena. I know you don't believe me. I know you think I betrayed you. But I needed you to have the truth before they kick me out. Because you deserve to know that Christine was innocent. That you destroyed an innocent woman's life. And that the person you trust most is your real enemy." Julian stared at the documents. Then, suddenly, he laughed. A broken, devastating sound. "I came here to apologize," he said. "Marcus showed me the security footage. The real footage, not the edited version he showed me last night. Your key card was cloned. You were set up. I should have trusted you. Should have believed you." He looked up at her. "But I was too damaged, too afraid, too used to betrayal to see the truth. Julian. I spent 3 years hating Christine. Destroying her. And she was innocent the entire time. I'm a monster, Alena. You were right. I'm exactly the monster I pretended to be." "No." Alena grabbed his face, forced him to meet her eyes. "You're someone who was hurt. Who made terrible mistakes because you were broken. But you can fix this. We can fix this." "Why?" His voice cracked. "Why would you help me after what I did to you last night? After I humiliated you, accused you, threw you away like you meant nothing? Because you mean something to me." The words came out raw, honest, terrifying. "Because this stopped being fake the moment you held my hand at that pool. Because I love you, you impossible, damaged, brilliant man. And I'm not walking away." Julian's eyes widened. For 3 heartbeats, he said nothing. Then he kissed her. Not for show. Not for the cameras. Desperate, real, pouring everything he couldn't say into that kiss. His hands tangled in her hair, pulling her closer, closer, like he could merge their broken pieces into something whole. When they pulled apart, both were shaking. "I love you," Julian whispered against her lips. "I tried not to. Tried to keep this business. But you broke through every wall I built. You're the only real thing in my entire manufactured life. Then let's finish this, Alena said. Together. Julian's expression hardened into something sharp and dangerous. Call Vanessa. Tell her you have information she wants. Tell her to meet you at the Clifftop Pavilion in 1 hour. What are you going to do? What I do best. His smile was cold. Destroy someone who deserves it. The Clifftop Pavilion overlooked the ocean, isolated and beautiful. Alena stood alone as Vanessa approached, Marcus Webb beside her. Derek trailed behind, looking confused and small. Well, Vanessa said. Marcus said you'd try something desperate. I didn't expect you to be stupid enough to call me here. I have what you want, Alena said. Full server access. Board member vulnerabilities. Everything to destroy Julian Cross. And why would you give me that now? Because he destroyed me last night. Humiliated me in front of everyone. Threw me away like garbage. Alena let real tears fall. I want him to hurt the way I hurt. Marcus smiled. See? I told you she'd break. They always do. Show me the access codes, Vanessa demanded. Alena pulled out her phone. Showed them a screen full of passwords and server information. Marcus reached for the phone. I'll verify these. I don't think so. Julian stepped out from behind the pavilion wall. With him, 2 men in FBI jackets. Behind them, Christine, alive, whole, looking at Marcus with cold fury. Marcus's face went white. This is a setup. Oh, it's much better than a setup. Julian's voice was ice. This is justice. Marcus, you're under arrest for corporate espionage, fraud, and theft of intellectual property across 6 companies over 8 years. You can't prove. I can, actually. Christine stepped forward. I spent 3 years rebuilding my life and gathering evidence. Every transaction, every stolen file, every communication. The FBI has been investigating you for 18 months. Julian's company was just the final piece. Vanessa lunged for the pavilion edge. Derek grabbed her arm. Let me go, she screamed at him. No. Derek's voice was firm. I'm done being your puppet. Julian's lawyers already contacted me. Showed me what you've been doing. Using me. Manipulating me. All to destroy him. Derek, you idiot. The idiot was me, Derek said, looking at Alena. For letting you go. For making you feel worthless. You deserved better than me. Better than this. He turned to Vanessa. And you deserve exactly what's coming. The FBI moved in. Handcuffs clicked. Vanessa spat venom until they dragged her away. Marcus went quietly, defeated. Derek paused in front of Alena. I'm sorry. For everything. I hope you find happiness. Then he walked away. Out of her life. Finally. Julian pulled Alena against him, holding her like she might disappear. It's over, he murmured. It's finally over. What about Christine? Alena asked. Christine approached slowly. She looked tired but strong. Julian already apologized. Wrote me a check that could fund 10 lifetimes. Set up a foundation in my name for victims of corporate fraud. She smiled sadly. It doesn't undo what he did. But it's a start. I'm sorry, Alena whispered. Don't be. You saved him. Saved his company. Saved yourself. Christine looked at Julian. Take care of her. She's the best thing that's ever happened to you. She left. The sun climbed higher. Julian and Alena stood on the clifftop, the ocean stretching endlessly before them. So, Julian said. About our fake engagement. About that. I'd like to make it real. Alena's breath caught. What? Julian pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside was a ring. Not ostentatious. Simple, elegant, perfect. I know this is insane. I know we barely know each other. But Alena Starling, you are the bravest, most stubborn, most incredible person I've ever met. You saw past the monster to the man underneath. You risked everything to save me when you should have run. So I'm asking, really asking this time. He dropped to one knee. Will you marry me? For real? Alena looked at him. This broken, brilliant, impossible man who'd gone from stranger to enemy to savior to love of her life in one chaotic week. Yes, she said. But on one condition. Anything. No more walls. No more secrets. We build something real together, or we don't build anything at all. Deal. Julian slid the ring onto her finger. Stood. Kissed her like she was oxygen. I have a lot to fix. Companies to help, people to apologize to, damage to undo. We'll do it together. Even though I'm difficult. Especially because you're difficult. She grinned. Someone has to keep you human. 3 months later, Alena stood in Julian's penthouse, Carmen and Juliet beside her. The city glittered below. Her sisters still couldn't believe the story. Still teased her about the most expensive vacation ever. Julian appeared in the doorway, phone in hand. Your foundation paperwork is approved. The Alena Starling Foundation for Second Chances. First grant goes out next week. Our foundation, Alena corrected. We're partners now. In everything. He crossed to her, pulled her close. Have I mentioned today that you saved my life? Only twice. You're slacking. Carmen groaned. You two are disgustingly adorable. Says the woman who orchestrated this entire mess, Julian shot back. Without your gift, I never would have met her. Best 18 months of savings ever spent, Juliet agreed. They laughed. Real, honest, free. Later, when her sisters left and the city lights painted patterns on the walls, Julian and Alena stood on the balcony. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you hadn't pointed at me? He asked. Every day. Alena leaned against him. But then I remember that sometimes the best things in life come from the craziest decisions. Like fake engagements. Like fake engagements that become real love. Julian turned her to face him. His expression was soft, open, healed. I was drowning before you. In work, revenge, loneliness. You taught me what it means to be human again. You taught me I was worth more than Derek ever made me believe. You were always worth everything, Alena. You just needed someone to see it. They kissed as the city sparkled around them. Two broken people who'd found each other in chaos and built something impossibly beautiful from the wreckage. The fake engagement that became a real forever. The lie that became the truest thing either of them had ever known. And in the end, when people asked how they met, they always told the same story. About a desperate moment, a generous stranger, and the week that changed everything. About the day Alena Starling pointed at a man across a crowded pool and claimed him as hers. The day Julian Cross decided to be claimed. The day two damaged souls found healing in each other's hands. Some love stories start with flowers and romance. Theirs started with a lie. But what grew from that lie was the most honest thing either of them had ever experienced. Love, real and raw and absolutely worth fighting for. The end.